Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to NXT, and tonight we have three massive matches on the go-home edition of NXT as we just itch closer and closer from NXT Stand and Deliver. As tonight we have multiple Battle Royal matches for the men's and women's matches tonight, where it'll be the men's and women's participants in the Money in the Bank matchup. They will be in Battle Royals tonight, as well as a massive main event as Kenny Omega and Sting team up to take on their opponents for this weekend's Stand and Deliver as Jay White and Malakai Black team up together. Obviously, we know Kenny Omega versus Jay White, ladies and gentlemen, for the NXT Championship, as well as Sting and Malakai Black go at it inside Hell in a Cell. This is the last match for Sting here in WWE. It is going to be a send-off of the ages, certainly for Sting. And obviously we know about The Undertaker. He is going to be facing John Cena WrestleMania weekend as well. So certainly a lot to take in with these big legends retiring WrestleMania weekend this weekend. As Nikita Lyons makes her way down to the ring, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to see all these women that will be in the Money in the Bank matchup that will be coming up very, very shortly. So in the women's Money in the Bank matchup, we have Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, both of Toxic Attraction, Nikita Lyons, Mikito Satomura, Sonya Deville, and Cora Jade. And could you imagine what it's going to look like, ladies and gentlemen, once we get there? Which one of these six women will walk out with a future guaranteed with a world championship opportunity? Certainly, Toxic Attraction, how good that would that be for them, being able to not only walk out with that, but definitely change the future of theirs. And if Gigi Dolan, who's making her appearance right now, and JC Jane, they could easily win the championship. They could make it a 2-on-1 situation where both of them work together. So that would make Toxic Attraction even more dangerous. Imagine Mikito Satomura. Man, she would be taking everybody's head off. And also Cora Jade, we know her, she's a multi-time former NXT Women's Champion in her own right. And obviously Sonya Deville is definitely an undercard. Certainly she's had a great 2023. We'll see if she can end it WrestleMania weekend with a Money in the Bank briefcase in her hand. Certainly it's a lot to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen. Massive weekend. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well, because we itch closer and closer to Money in the Bank for these women, but also Stand and Deliver, and also the 2 nights of WrestleMania. It's going to be just stupendous, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait to see that. As we wait for the next woman to make her rounds, it looks like it will be her tag team partner, JC Jane, making her way down to the ring. Certainly with JC Jane and Gigi Dolan, certainly I would definitely have to give them the favors in this matchup, because they can work together. And then when it comes down to both of those women at the same time, it can be, hey, it's the better woman at this time. Who's the better woman? Someone's got to win between one of us, and they fight it out. I believe that would be the best situation to kind of do in that situation, if I'm honest with you. But obviously, it's every woman for themselves in this matchup, not only tonight, but also at Stand and Deliver. And for NXT, ladies and gentlemen, it is certainly going to be a night to really look forward to. Like I said, just not only the retirement of Sting, hopefully he'll go on a good note, but just from top to bottom of the card, one thing we still need to figure out for NXT Stand and Deliver is who is Tony D'Angelo's opponent at Stand and Deliver, and we will find that out tonight as Adam Pearce will announce who will be his opponent later on tonight. But like we mentioned, we have the 2 Money in the Bank matches, Battle Royals of those participants that will be in the Money in the Bank on Saturday. But we'll see those 2 matches tonight, and also that big main event where Kenny Omega and Sting take on Jay White and Malakai Black. Certainly a match to really look forward to, and it's going to be very, I want to say combustible, because obviously only one team's going to walk out winner, but certainly I wouldn't be surprised if that that tag team match decides to go all over the place and absolutely explodes. But going back to this Money in the Bank matchup for the women's division, I think definitely Sonya Deville definitely could be very underrated in that matchup for sure. She could definitely steal the show in that matchup. And I feel like you could say that about every woman in the matchup. You're like, oh, she could do this, or, maybe this woman can. It's just all about being right place, right time. It doesn't matter necessarily who wins this matchup. Win is a win, but certainly it's about being at the right place at the right time in that matchup. You could be down and out, all the women are focusing each other outside the ring, and all of a sudden you can slip in, sneak in the ring, run up that ladder, and grab that briefcase and steal the whole damn matchup. So, we'll have to look forward to it as Cora Jade running around her competition here tonight, live on NXT, big time episode. And we're still supposed to have Roxanne Perez and Tiffany Stratton going face to face, just days away from their massive women's championship matchup at Stand and Deliver. I cannot wait to see that matchup, and we'll have to really see if the Money in the Bank matches will be before the championship matches at Stand and Deliver, because if so, we could see a possible cash-in same night. So it'd be definitely something to really look forward to. As here we go, finally the matchup is started. Who is going to walk out victorious here tonight? At least build some momentum little by little to get themselves into Money in the Bank coming up this Saturday, but even so, it doesn't necessarily obviously guarantee you the win. As Sonya Deville trying to go for that sliding basement dropkick of sorts and didn't work out in her favor. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane working together so far. JC Jane, super kick right to the temple. And now JC Jane going to go after Makito Satomura, but Makito coming right after JC Jane. Oh goodness, what a uppercut to the back of the neck. And this is where you really got to bring your A game, but also you want to make sure you walk out 100%, at least close to it, because going in that Money in the Bank matchup is going to take a lot out of you, physically and mentally. And especially being in a big crowd for NXT Stand and Deliver, it's not going to be something that you can just easily, walk through or physically get through, because you're going to need help from the other women in the matchup, as there's a double eliminated. Sonya Deville and JC Jane eliminated. So double elimination there. We now are down to 4. Gigi Dolan, Nikita Lyons, Cora Jade, and Makito Satomura. And especially with a lot of these men and women in an NXT, this is going to be their first experience for this big-time weekend for WrestleMania. Obviously, it's going to be a different venue, but it's still going to be in Hollywood, California. A whole different situation, though, on these hands, as now Makito Satomura. Nice Michinoku driver takes down Gigi Dolan. Cora Jade trying to eliminate Nikita Lyons. Lyons trying to fight back, and she's able to keep herself in this matchup momentarily. Back and forth we go. A little bit of a Bronco Buster in the corner there from Nikita Lyons. Certainly not the best view to have, especially when you're down and out and you see a woman like Nikita Lyons coming at you. It's not what you want. It's now Gigi Dolan from behind. Good old back suplex takes it to Nikita Lyons. Oh, and look at Makita with a dropkick, but that barely phased Gigi Dolan for some reason. Probably pure adrenaline, I suppose, as now that dropkick definitely took a little bit out of Makito Satomura, just a little bit at least. Especially with it, like I mentioned, a lot of these superstars haven't been into WrestleMania weekend, so it's definitely going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. They're going to be in shock and awe, and then once we get to next year's WrestleMania and everything like that, I think a lot of these superstars may be used to it. And some of these women right now, ladies and gentlemen, they may not be back in NXT, because we could see a big change. Obviously, with the WWE draft, it will be happening the night after WrestleMania. And that's the same night of Monday Night Raw, but it won't be an official Monday Night Raw episode. So certainly it's going to be a lot going on. The men's and women's divisions certainly are going to be very intriguing, to say the least, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be all-out warfare for these women to impress, and same for the men's division. As Nikita Lyons and Cora Jade trying to fight each other through Gigi Dolan, but did not work out in their favor. As suplex. Luckily, Nikita Lyons was able to get herself countered out of that position. And now Lyons looking to eliminate Makito. Oh, but big reversal from Makito Satomura, pardon me. And now big kick to the side of the face there. That ain't going to be feeling good. And now, Nikita Lyons may be in trouble. What is Satomura setting up here? Here we go. Lining her up here. Oh, nice kick to the back of the skull. We've seen that before from Seth frickin' Rollins. It's worked out before. Nice maneuver there. Death Valley driver. And now we're down to Gigi and Cora Jade in the terms of the women up on their feet. And like we mentioned, up next, ladies and gentlemen, it will be the 6 competitors of the Money in the Bank matchup tonight. They're going to look to get some momentum. That is a big super kick. But Nikita Lyons keeps herself in it. Nice reversal from Nikita, getting super kicked and able to really have enough fortitude to really, keep that, chin. I mean, able to just keep herself in the matchup, I suppose. As though that running knee strike from Cora Jade, that would have been a perfect opportunity to eliminate Makito, but that did not happen. But like I was trying to say before, we were having a potential elimination there. We have the men's Money in the Bank participants participating in the Battle Royal next here, live on NXT, as it's going to be Dragon Lee, Will Ospreay, Wardlow, Wesley, Nathan Frazier, and Damon Kemp. All going at it, as well as tonight we'll be figuring out who Tony D'Angelo's opponent will be live there at Stand and Deliver. And we're still scheduled to have Roxanne and Tiffany Stratton face to face here tonight here on NXT. It's going to be a great night of action as we itch closer and closer to a monumental, and I do mean monumental, weekend for both Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. All these women are going to be looking to impress the general managers Raw, NXT, and SmackDown, and certainly if you're able to walk out champion as well as the Money in the Bank winner as well, certainly they are going to be definitely looking at you as the next piece of their puzzle to kind of fit their puzzle pieces all together to fill what they believe is missing for their roster. Is Nikita Lyons with a elimination, tossing Cora Jade right over the top rope, and now we are down to 3. All the women in this matchup, except for Makito Satomura, out of these 3, have won a championship before. But will Makito Satomura make it her night this Saturday at Stand and Deliver? Especially with that briefcase being held in her hand, she could very well change the landscape of her career, as Makito Satomura with a big boot takes out Gigi Dolan. And now we are down to 2. Nikita Lyons, Makito Satomura. Who is going to walk out victorious? 2 brutal women when it comes to their strikes. Only one can walk out winner. Who is it going to be? Over the top rope, and just like that, Nikita Lyons making it look so easy by tossing her over the top rope. And Nikita Lyons had a strong showing tonight. Big elimination of Makito Satomura at the very end there. And just like that, Nikita Lyons wins this matchup, and she's done quite well these last couple of weeks. We'll see if she can take it in to that actual Money in the Bank matchup. And will she be the next women's Money in the Bank for NXT, ladies and gentlemen? And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to figure out the winner of the men's Money in the Bank Battle Royal. Obviously, this is not the Money in the Bank. It's not on the line in this matchup, but it all gives these men a preview of what's to come. Obviously, there won't be ladders in this matchup, but it's all going to be about 6 men in this ring. Last one to be basically to survive the matchup wins, just like what we saw in the last matchup. Wardlow definitely is going to be one man to, I would say, go after, game plan against. Because this man, this genetic freak that is Wardlow, this man very well could toss around every single one of these superstars. I'd like to see the interaction between Wardlow and Damon Kemp definitely in this match, and also at the Money in the Bank matchup there this Saturday. But I think Wardlow and Damon Kemp going at it, oh my goodness, that's just two physical dudes going at it. I mean, Wardlow might have the upper hand in that situation, but I'd love to see that. And definitely want to see Wardlow and Will Ospreay face to face. See those two big guys going at it. Will Ospreay more of a high flyer, obviously, but just in the terms of main event talent here in NXT, Wardlow, Will Ospreay certainly will be a big matchup for sure. Could you imagine Wardlow with that Money in the Bank briefcase, holding that around for up to a year? Man, if I'm the NXT champion, Jay White, or even Kenny Omega, you have to hope, probably not out loud, but at least, in their minds say, hey, I hope Wardlow does not walk out winner, because certainly this man is a beast. I guess you could say the next coming of, the future of WWE, especially here in NXT. As we wait for his next competitor to make his way down to this ring, Dragon Lee makes his way down to the ring. This young man certainly could very well use that ladder to his advantage. Jumping off the top of the ladder through a table, or putting someone through a ladder of his own right, or just anything in general, this man very well could steal the show with his high-flying ability. And I like that this match has different high flyers. Well, you got Dragon Lee, you're going to have Will Ospreay, you're going to have Wesley and Nathan Frazier, so you're getting a little bit of variety when it comes to the high-flying abilities, but then also you run into the wrestlers that don't necessarily worry about that type of stuff. They're worrying about that ground and pound, throwing you around the ring, putting you through tables, ladders, anything that is just in their way. As now another superstar will be making his way down to the ring. It will be one of the biggest names in NXT's history, Will Ospreay. Will the bruv be able to walk out with that Money in the Bank briefcase? And that's what you gotta love about the Money in the Bank briefcase. You may have a lot of big names in that matchup, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna walk out winner. It's about being the right place at the right time. Wesley last year won it in a 8-man Money in the Bank matchup, but eventually would lose it to Rusev eventually after Rusev challenged him for that Money in the Bank briefcase. But still, certainly you don't have to be the biggest guy in the match. You don't have to be the strongest. You don't have to be the toughest. You just have to be right there at the right place at the right time. And certainly Will Ospreay being the biggest man in that matchup in the terms of, fan appeal and everything like that. You got to believe having Will Ospreay, Wardlow in this matchup, just two big names in this matchup. I'm not saying obviously Dragon Lee, Wesley, Nathan Frazier, and Damon Kemp aren't big names, but, when you have Wardlow, Will Ospreay, these big main event talent superstars in there is something that you have to look out for, and I would believe they would be targeted a lot more, for sure. As now here comes Wesley. Wesley and Nathan Frazier got themselves in this matchup by defeating Tony D'Angelo and Baron Corbin in a Money in the Bank qualifying tag team matchup. And we'll see if Wesley can become a 2-time Mr. Money in the Bank. I believe Wesley made the, I guess you could say, mistake, by allowing himself to get pushed around, especially by a big man like Rusev. And I'm not saying Wesley couldn't have fought back or whatever, but, I think with him losing that briefcase, it was a good thing. Wesley may not necessarily been mentally there, physically there to be in that opportune time to really maybe challenge for the main championships here on NXT, but I believe he's grown over this past year, and I believe if Wesley were to win again, I think he'd be ready for the moment. And now we got Nathan Frazier, the man we just mentioned that won that tag team matchup with Wes Lee. This man with his high-flying ability, I'd like to see Frazier, definitely with Dragon Lee going at it, especially Wes Lee. Ooh, my goodness, those guys probably could just run circles around the whole competition. Eventually, they'd probably run into Wardlow or Damon Kemp and, get hit clotheslined or whatever. But definitely, just in the terms of this Money in the Bank matchup, you got to love that there's a little bit of variety. You got power, strength, you got speed and agility from half the field. So a little bit of everything to expect here tonight in this matchup and then at Stand and Deliver. This man was made in the Black and Brave studios there with Seth frickin' Rollins, Wrestling Academy. We'll see if Nathan Frazier will win the Money in the Bank, and maybe Seth Rollins can win it for the Raw side, as there is Damon Kemp looking for getting himself a massive win tonight. Damon Kemp earned himself this opportunity in a hard-fought matchup, and we'll see if he can continue to work his ass off. He did defeat Andre Chase of Chase University to get himself in this matchup. Certainly, I would say he's definitely underdog in this matchup, but I think he can use his power and strength, especially if he's on top of a ladder with somebody. I think he can use that to suplex or whatever he may have to do to toss his opponent off that ladder so he can grab that Money in the Bank briefcase. But certainly the future is bright for NXT, and I can't wait to see what it will be walking out of Stand and Deliver into draft season. Matchup is official. Here we go. It's definitely going to be chaotic. It's already a standing Spanish Fly Ospreay taking out Wardlow, sending him a quick message, and why not? Certainly absolute beast in this ring. And for these 6 superstars, I'll mention the same thing I mentioned about in the women's matchup. It's about, impressing the general managers, not only tonight, but also at Stand and Deliver, especially if you don't win the briefcase. Sir, I believe Dragon Lee would be a... Oh, look at Nathan Frazier already eliminated. Wow, that's only barely a couple minutes into this matchup, but certainly I think Dragon Lee would be a hot commodity for whatever wrestler decides, or I should say whatever GM decides to use them. I mean, obviously, Will Ospreay, Wardlow, certainly 2 big names as well. Damon Kemp underrated, Wes Lee underrated, Nathan Frazier underrated. So there's certain GMs that I might think may want to go in a certain direction, but I can't speculate but we don't know, who, these general managers may use to, I guess, work together. Because obviously we have multiple agents on each show. So, who is JBL working with? Who is Adam Pearce working with? Who is working with Shawn Michaels of Monday Night Raw? So it's just something we'll have to really kind of keep our eyes on as the head scissors taking down Dragon Lee. Wesley coming after Ospreay. Uh-oh. Ooh, what a brutal neckbreaker suplex, man. Certainly not going to be feeling too good. He's holding his neck for a reason, man. He landed hard on his neck. Look at those haymakers from Damon Kemp trying to send a message to Wes Lee here. Uh-oh, over the top. Wes Lee gonna get saved as Dragon Lee connects with the Frankensteiner, takes down Damon Kemp. But just like that, Damon Kemp back in this ring, trying to take out Wardlow and Kemp. Uh-oh, Ospreay now looking to eliminate Wes Lee. Could be another elimination for Will Ospreay here. Big time opportunity for the bruv. Can he do it? Wesley's able to fight out of it though. Back and forth we go. Oh no, Wesley attacking him from behind that left knee. That's going to be a situation to watch there, see if there's any damage that may be sustained in this matchup. I believe Dragon Lee just got busted open with that big close-handed punch from Damon Kemp. As back and forth we go, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up next, we are going to be hearing from Adam Pearce. He will be addressing who Tony D'Angelo will be facing for the NXT North American Championship, as well as after that, we will shift it over to the backstage area as Damon Kemp is eliminated by Dragon Lee. we will shift it to the backstage area where we will see Tiffany Stratton and Roxanne go face to face just before their massive women's championship matchup coming up this Saturday. And then we will get to your main event of the evening. That big massive tag team matchup is Ospreay looking to hit that silencer right there to Wardlow. We'll be seeing that massive tag team matchup as Kenny Omega and Sting take on Jay White and Malakai Black. So still plenty more to come. We have NXT tonight. We have SmackDown on Friday. Then the following day we get into NXT Stand and Deliver. And then later on the same day we get the pre-show of WrestleMania Night 1. We get into eventually WrestleMania Night 1 after the Gauntlet matchup there for Night 1. And then it's the same thing on Sunday. We have WrestleMania Night 2 pre-show into the actual WrestleMania, and then eventually we will have the WWE Draft as what a maneuver from Wesley takes down Will Ospreay. And now Ospreay looking to eliminate Wesley. It looks like he has him right where he wants him. Possible elimination. Wesley trying to fight. He's trying to. He's holding on the bottom rope. He's trying to. He's hitting that right ankle, right shin there. And it works as what a maneuver from Wardlow. Power bombing Dragon Lee straight to hell there. And Wesley. Oh, Wesley saves Wardlow. I think Will Ospreay was just about to be eliminated. Wesley keeps Will Ospreay in this matchup. Very surprising. If I'm Wardlow, I'd be absolutely pissed off. I'm about to eliminate somebody and somebody stops me from doing that. That is, that's not the best thing to do, but I guess it's what Wesley wanted to do, as Dragon Lee could be eliminated here in just a second. Dragon Lee is able to keep himself in that as a brutal power bomb there from Ospreay. Back and for only 4 superstars left in this matchup. Dragon Lee just eliminating Damon Kemp just moments ago. Ospreay gonna try to eliminate Dragon Lee possibly. Oh, actually he's going after Wesley now. Oh, but a spinning heel kick right to the ribs. And just like that, it changes the momentum. And now Wardlow gonna hit Wesley with a stiff spear. And this matchup feels like it's anyone's ball game right now. As now Wardlow looking to send a message to Wesley, especially when Wardlow was trying to eliminate Will Ospreay early on in the matchup. And now, look at this. Dragon Lee, that is what helped him win last week on NXT to get himself into this Money in the Bank matchup at Stand and Deliver. And now Dragon Lee, oh my goodness. Will Ospreay landing hard on his neck there. Dragon Lee has all the momentum. Who is going to walk out victorious, man? It just seems like all these clubbing blows, something has to give here. Certainly, having Will Ospreay having to fight Dragon Lee or even, Wesley, that would certainly be a high-flying matchup of all ages just to really see how the Bruv would do against the rest of this NXT roster. As now, Dragon Lee looking to eliminate Will Ospreay. Wesley trying to survive in this matchup by Wardlow. And Will Ospreay could momentarily be eliminated here. As Wesley, look at this maneuver. Oh goodness, what a uppercut there. Very innovative maneuver there. I thought he was going to try to powerbomb him, but it didn't work out. As Wesley, look at that. That cannonball head scissors takedown there. And Wesley is so underrated, and I think we're starting to see a little bit more out of his repertoire. And now, big old brainbuster to Will Ospreay. And this has been a great Money in the Bank matchup. It feels like it's one of those matches where you'd like to see a pinfall or a submission at times in this matchup, but these guys are just beating the crap out of each other because they know they have to eliminate somebody just momentarily sometime in this matchup. And oh no, from behind, right there to that left knee. Obviously, these guys cannot, sustain an injury, or they could be replaced in their NXT Money in the Bank matchup. So they have to be so careful here. And now Ospreay going to look to eliminate Wesley here. Can Will Ospreay flip Wesley here? Wardlow slowing down Dragon Lee, trying to work on that left knee, that left ankle here. And again, Wesley able to fight out of it. And talking about NXT TakeOver, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a matchup of all ages with certain matches, as Wardlow just military pressing him over his shoulders, throws him out like trash, and that was all she wrote for that superstar, as a silencer there takes down Wesley, and now Wardlow gonna take him to Suplex City. Can Wesley out-survive these two other superstars to walk out victorious? It's been one hell of a night so far, and it's going to get even more chaotic with the impending Tiffany Stratton Roxanne face-to-face, as well as coming up very, very shortly. We're going to hear from Adam Pearce as Wardlow has eliminated Will Ospreay, and now a Frankensteiner from Wesley. Can Wesley pick up a massive win just days away from Stand and Deliver? They're showing us some agility there. And now, oh, what a shoulder tackle. Shoulder bump, whatever you want to call it. Highly effective. And now look at the strength and power of Wardlow, making it look so easy right in front of the sold-out Orlando, Florida crowd. Look at this. Down goes Wesley with a brutal suplex. Both these guys have sustained a lot of damage in this matchup. Question is, who can fight through it in this matchup? Both men have been able to hit big-time maneuvers in this matchup. Wardlow was trying to hit that big clothesline, but it didn't work out in his favor at that time. And now, Wardlow going to try to finally eliminate Wesley. Is this Wardlow's time here? Yes, it is! Wardlow wins the 6-man over-the-top rope Battle Royal. And again, Wardlow looking very impressive, and I don't know how you cannot give Wardlow the advantage in that matchup. Like I said, it doesn't matter who gets the advantage necessarily, but still, it's anyone's ball game to win. Will Wardlow walk out victorious this Saturday, ladies and gentlemen? Will Wardlow be able to be your next NXT Mr. Money in the Bank? I cannot wait to see it. But now we head to the back, and we'll be hearing from Adam Pearce. I had to think long and hard on who the NXT North American Champion, Tony D'Angelo, would be facing off at NXT Stand and Deliver with. I had to look up and down this roster really to see who would give Tony D'Angelo a fight of his life at Stand and Deliver, and I came up with one superstar that will do exactly that. And I have made that match official. So, at NXT Stand and Deliver this Saturday, it will be Tony D'Angelo defending his NXT North American Championship against the Samoan Submission Machine, Samoa Joe, live there at Stand and Deliver. The matchup is official. Good luck, Tony. You're gonna need it. It's Tiffy time, Roxanne, and it always will be Tiffy time. And once our matchup is over and done with in that Extreme Rules matchup, it will be Tiffy time once again, and I will still be the NXT Women's Champion. And you are just going to be down and out once again. All that win an NXT deadline is going to prove how much of a loser you are. Well, what's Daddy's little girl going to do when not only she loses her undefeated streak to the prodigy of NXT, but also loses her women's championship, the only thing that is keeping her relevant here in NXT. Don't get me wrong, Tiffany. You've done quite well since joining this NXT roster. You even beat me, but to the layers that you will go to beat down your opponents after the matchup, and even what you did to me after our matchup, that was unacceptable, and I'm going to show you that at NXT Stand and Deliver. Now, I'm sick of talking. Let's fight. We all know how these fights go. Something's going to have to happen between both of us. No, none of these face-to-face ever end quite well, I can tell you that. So, Tiffany, come on, let's fight, girl. Show me how good you actually are. And, oh, look, Tiffany Stratton's already grabbing the table. She's going to get extreme here. Oh, no. Bouncing Roxanne's head off the table. And certainly, Tiffany Stratton's going to try to show her Roxanne wanted this right now, show her how extreme this was going to go. But now we are seeing a side that certainly Roxanne does not want to see. Call her his daddy's little girl and says that only staying relevant because of that NXT Women's Championship. It seems like Tiffany Stratton about to send a message to Roxanne Perez here. And oh, Roxanne! Roxanne with the big reversal. Here we go. Here comes Roxanne now. Is Roxanne going to put Tiffany Stratton through a table now? Here we go. We're backstage. Hurricane Rana through the table. Down goes the women's champion. And Roxanne now has a steel chair. And this is not going to bode well for Tiffany Stratton. Look at Roxanne go. Referee's right there watching it, not going to break it up. He doesn't want to get hit by the steel chair. I don't blame him. You got a pissed off Roxanne Perez, and she is taking it to your women's champion. Something's got to give this Saturday at Stand and Deliver. Can Roxanne walk out with the women's championship? We will figure it out at that time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for tuning into this part of the segment as we will be heading to the main event out front. Well, certainly no surprise with what we just witnessed. We knew it was going to break down. Roxanne said she knew it was going to break down. And well, we saw both women get a little extreme just days away from their massive women's championship matchup. But now we go to a tag team matchup as Jay White teams up with Malakai Black to take on Kenny Omega and the Icon Sting. Coming up this Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, the main event of Stand and Deliver. We'll see this man, Jay White, the one that won the Iron Survivor matchup. He will go on to face Kenny Omega for the NXT Championship. And then also, earlier on in the night, we will see Sting versus Malakai Black inside of a Hell in a Cell matchup. This will be the last match of Sting's career, and obviously there's been a lot of jawing back and forth, but certainly once they get locked in the cell, it is going to be a whole different ball game. You gotta if you gotta talk the talk, you're gonna have to walk the walk. And will Sting go out on top, or will Malakai Black send Sting away packing in a bloody heap of his former self? And we'll see even if these four superstars will be walking into their matches, prospective matches, 100%. Obviously, you got the two leaders, former leaders of the Bullet Club, and Jay White and Kenny Omega. And we saw a while back on NXT where we saw Jay White put Kenny Omega through a table and then would beat him down after the match afterwards. So certainly this is a heated feud. It kind of feels more one-sided than anything. It seems like Jay White has gotten the number of Kenny Omega, and we'll see if that will continue at this Saturday's biggest event of NXT's whole existence, that being NXT Stand and Deliver. As there is Malakai Black, a man looking to send a message to the whole NXT roster by beating Sting in the middle of that ring at Hell in a Cell. Could you imagine if Malakai Black were to put Sting through the top of that Hell in a Cell, or even toss him over the top of the cage, putting him down to one of our announce tables? It could be absolute craziness, bona fide. Almost could have a shades of an Undertaker Mankind type of moment. And we might not even get that at all. Those guys could literally just stay in the Hell in a Cell and beat the tarnation out of each other. We won't know until we get to that devastating matchup. It's going to be hellacious, hell on earth, and certainly Malakai Black fits that. It's probably certainly why he decided he wanted to do it, but certainly it won't stop Sting from working his ass off to make sure he walks out victorious. Malakai Black, he is the future and even the present. You got Sting, this will be his last match. Malakai Black wants to send him out on a bad note. But like I said, there's so much about that Hell in a Cell. It could certainly change the career for both of those men. Obviously, a win or a loss for Sting. Certainly, he wants to win, but Malakai Black, imagine if he wins, he wants to build that momentum off of NXT, and certainly, everyone's a free agent after WrestleMania. So certainly, there's going to be a lot of things to be talking about for all these superstars, and especially this man right here, Kenny Omega. If he can walk out winner, he'll be NXT champion. Everybody will be a free agent. So Kenny Omega, he could be taking that NXT championship to a different brand. And we could see that NXT championship on, let's say, Raw or even SmackDown. My question is, how would that even work? Would Omega have to vacate his championship, or would the NXT championship be on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown? Something that Adam Pearce is definitely going to have to really think about, using Kenny Omega or Jay White as his top pick. And obviously Roxanne or even Tiffany Stratton. But if you decide to go with somebody else, you have to make sure, hey, this is the right person, because obviously with this being a 3-branded draft, this is going to be changing the landscape for a lot of these rosters, a lot of men and these women. So certainly something's going to have to give. And I can't wait to see it go down. The night after WrestleMania, it'll be the same night as Monday Night Raw, but it will not be counted as a Monday Night Raw episode. As now we wait for the Icon Sting. This will be his last match here in NXT before the premium live event of Stand and Deliver. Can the Stinger go out on top with NXT champion Kenny Omega? We know at Deadline we saw the unification matchup between Kenny Omega and Sting, with Kenny Omega defeating Sting. So now Omega and Sting will work together to try to take down not only Jay White, but Malakai Black. Try to make sure that not only they send them a message that they're not to be messed with, but certainly with a winner type of... the winner's going to be feeling great going into Stand and Deliver. But obviously it's a whole different ballgame when it comes to singles matches, because you don't have to worry about a tag team partner being there for you. And you can just feel this crowd right now. Everybody's on their feet from what I could tell. They are just in absolute awe of this man. They are taking this in because this is the last time we're seeing Sting in a NXT arena. We'll see him at Stand and Deliver, but not on the weekly episodes of NXT after tonight. It's been a great run by Sting. Last year he lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Now this time at WrestleMania weekend, he'll be having a Hell in a Cell matchup with Malakai Black. Matchup has started. Jay White, Kenny Omega kicking us off this matchup. We will see these two this Saturday, but tonight we get to see the former 2 Bullet Club members going at it, former leaders, and now we'll see how it goes. Jay White so far here in WWE is undefeated, but will he continue to be undefeated after NXT? Kenny Omega knocked off CM Punk months and months ago, but would eventually walk out victorious against CM Punk, would have CM Punk's number, and after that, Kenny Omega has had to deal with the likes of MJF and plenty others to walk out still NXT champion, and we'll see, ladies and gentlemen, if it will continue at Stand and Deliver. Both these men are going to have to stand in the middle of that ring and deliver. No pun intended, but certainly being the main event of the evening. And certainly they got to keep an eye out on the winner of the Money in the Bank briefcase, because also they could cash in. You could have any of the 6 men in that Money in the Bank briefcase matchup certainly walk out here and cash in on Omega or Jay White. And we saw Wardlow, he walked out victorious tonight. Hopefully for them, for Jay White and Omega, like I mentioned earlier on tonight, hopefully for their sake, they are training for that possibility, because Wardlow very well could be that man to walk out of that matchup. And, that's going to change not only his career, but it is definitely going to be a game changer for the rest of the NXT roster, especially all the champions. and especially Tony D'Angelo. He's the NXT North American champion. He currently is going to be facing off with Samoa Joe, ladies and gentlemen, live there at NXT Stand and Deliver as Sting breaks it up. Samoa Joe is the security for Adam Pearce, and certainly he's going to be repaying Samoa Joe with that opportunity. We'll see if Samoa Joe can capitalize on that, or if Tony D'Angelo can somehow survive the Samoan submission machine, that being Samoa Joe. As here we go, get the tag to the Icon. Can Sting put away Jay White here tonight? Uh-oh, look at this. Sling blade right there. Well, shades of Bray Wyatt with the Sister Abigail of sorts. Pinfall opportunity. Could this be enough to put away Sting? No. Sting kicks out. And we know, ladies and gentlemen, weeks and weeks ago, we saw Sting and Jay White go at it in singles action. Well over a month ago, ladies and gentlemen, to be precise. It was maybe closer to 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks ago. Jay White beat Sting in a back and forth match. Absolutely brutal. Took a lot out of Jay White to even put away the Icon. And that was off the win from Kenny Omega by beating Sting. That was the first appearance by Sting since that event. It's a big pinfall from Sting, but a strong kick out from Jay White. Ladies and gentlemen, who do you guys think will walk out NXT champion? Will it be Jay White or will it be Kenny Omega? Certainly, whoever walks out champion, you got to believe, will be the first round pick for Adam Pearce. But like we said, Adam Pearce, he probably doesn't even know who he wants to go with. And same with, obviously, Shawn Michaels and even JBL, because there's just so much to really digest, ladies and gentlemen, really decide what you want to do as that Scorpion Deathlock. But right there, Malakai Black there to save the matchup, and now Sting going to come right after Malakai. Nice scoop slam there from the Stinger. Why not, Sting? Why don't you try to take out Malakai Black as much as we can? Because certainly we know how big that matchup is going to be coming up there live at Stand and Deliver. Omega now going to set his focus back on Jay White. Jay White a little bit faster in the exchange, and look at that. The eye rake to the face, and now White going to try to capitalize. Could you imagine that spinning Michinoku driver? But Sting keeps the matchup going. That could have been it. And now Jay White and Malakai Black coming out. This matchup is going to break down, ladies and gentlemen. It certainly is. Look at Malakai Black. Fireman's carry takedown there of Sting, and just sending a message to the Icon. Why not? Do what you got to do at ringside. And Jay White telling Kenny Omega to get up to his feet. Jay White wants to end this once and for all. I'm being told that Roxanne Perez and Tiffany Stratton, they were able to go their separate ways after that brawl as Kenny Omega busted open there. And both women have been checked out in different locker room area by the staff here in WWE, and they should just be suffering minor injuries as Omega could not finish off Malakai Black. Look at that blood flowing down Kenny Omega's face. That's a vicious knee strike, and look at Malakai Black. The mind games of this man. Oh, into a drop kick. Oh no, Omega now. Not able to be faster in the exchange here. And look at Omega eating these strikes. What viciousness from Malakai Black. Kenny Omega is in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. And Omega, he probably definitely needs to get a tag. Get Sting in here. And I think Malakai Black realizes that, and he gets himself out of that situation. Oh, he missed him. He just missed him. Into the punt kick. Will that be it? Right in Sting's corner. Is this it? 2. Ooh, very close. Sting almost didn't break that up. Or didn't get there in enough time. As over the top bro goes Sting, and now Black on the second rope. Looking to go high risk here. Deciding not to. And now, again, going to try to look to capitalize. But the NXT champion is one step ahead. Taking his time now. Realizing he doesn't need to focus, or not, he needs to focus, but he doesn't need to turn up the speed at the moment. He just needs to focus on Malakai Black at this moment. And Omega looking for a brainbuster suplex, maybe? No. Oh, right to that left knee of the champion. And certainly Jay White would love to see Omega not going to be 100% for their matchup this Saturday, pardon me. And it's now Sting going to get the tag in here. Malakai Black with the Meteora knees right to the chest. Omega's down and out. And now Sting Scorpion Death Drop to Malakai Black right in their corner. Jay White is right there and is able to continue this matchup. Back and forth we go. Who is going to walk out victorious in this tag team matchup? We're seeing all sorts of things from both sides, putting it all on the line. From Omega being busted open to even being misted even into a punt kick. We could see that at Hell in a Cell. Sting very well could eat a black mass. He could eat the mist and also, deal with other type of situations. A Sting pulling out a pile driver on the outside. And look at Sting, he's all fired up. The Icon, he is ready to win tonight, and he's ready to go on to defeat Malakai Black and beat some respect into him at WrestleMania weekend at Stand and Deliver. And now Sting again. I think he was going to go for a pile driver, but Malakai Black a little bit faster in that exchange. Both men need to get themselves in the ring to avoid a countout here. That's what the referee's trying to tell him. Black going to get the tag possibly. Yes, he does. And now you get Jay White in the middle of this ring here with Sting. Let's see if Sting can continue up with that momentum that he has at this moment. And look at that big boot to the chest. Oh, no, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. Jay White brings him back down to earth. Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be monumental. Stand and Deliver. Hold on to my thought here. That might be enough. 2. Ooh, very close. Omega barely able to break it up. But, ladies and gentlemen, Stand and Deliver. It is going to be chaotic. A lot of great matches in store for you. You're going to see 7 massive matches, ladies and gentlemen, from the NXT Women's Money in the Bank, the NXT Men's Money in the Bank. You're going to see Malakai Black and Sting inside of a Hell in a Cell. You're going to see the NXT Tag Team Championships on the line with Undisputed Era going up against Pretty Deadly. Also, Tony D'Angelo, you'll be taking on Samoa Joe for the NXT North American Championship. Also, Tiffany Stratton defends her NXT Women's Championship in the Extreme Rules matchup against Roxanne Perez, as well as your main event of Stand and Deliver, that being Kenny Omega, Jay White, NXT Championship, grandest staging of them all, that being NXT Stand and Deliver weekend for NXT, as a big maneuver from Omega. Is this it? 2. Oh, he saves it. White saves it at 2.9999. You cannot save a match any closer to that as Omega. Look at that maneuver. Pulling all sorts of maneuvers out of his repertoire. Is this it? 2. Now Jay White is able to save the matchup. What a freaking matchup we are witnessing live here on NXT. And Omega is signaling the end is near for Malakai Black. How much more is left in Black? He just took not only a massive maneuver from the top rope, but he took Kenny Omega's finishing maneuver. And now Omega's going to send a message to Jay White. 2-for-1 specials live here on NXT. As Malakai Black patiently waiting for the NXT champion. Face to face into the running knee. The running knee strike. But Omega going to allow Sting to maybe pounce on the downed Malakai Black. Be a perfect opportunity. Why not? As now Sting going to look to make Malakai Black tap out. Here we go. Flips him over. The Icon Sting trying to make him tap. But no, Jay White keeps this matchup continuing, at least momentarily. And Sting going to make Jay White pay for it. Going to look for maybe a back suplex here on the hardest part of the apron. Right there. Absolutely brutal. Malakai Black, Jay White out as well. This is the moment that Sting and certainly Kenny Omega want and need here. Uh-oh. Oh, big scoop slam. I thought maybe for a minute Sting may have been wanting to use his outside the apron or maybe even that LED post to his advantage. Look at Sting flexing on Malakai Black, saying, hey man, I might be old, but I'm still doing better than you at this moment. Malakai Black back inside the ring, trying to get in, as Sting was briefly focusing on Jay White there. Oh no! Right there on the shoulder and elbow area. That won't be feeling good for Malakai Black. We'll see if that comes to be any damage in there. There's a big clothesline, takes down the NXT champion. Now, Omega doesn't seem phased whatsoever as Sting gets taken out there briefly. Omega taking his time. He realizes he does have time. And now Malakai Black going to toss Omega back inside the ring here. Back and forth we go. This is anyone's main event to win here. As Jay White and Omega go back and forth. Malakai Black talking some trash to Sting there as a dropkick takes down Omega. Here we go. Oh, fade to black. Fade to black out of nowhere to Omega. Is this it? 2. Oh, Omega kicks out at the last second. That would have been the opportune time to put away this matchup. And now again, no, fade to black misses. Now Omega's turn to maybe put this matchup away. Omega has him up. Oh, what a maneuver there from Kenny. Even the biggest maneuvers have not been enough to put away their opponents tonight for each side. You're seeing the blood, the sweat, the tears, and this matchup as a double super kick takes down Malakai Black. And now Sting coming after Jay White here. Might as well do it now. Try to take out Jay White so that maybe you can get that easy pinfall. As, oh no, I think Jay White now is busted open. This matchup has been brutal from the get-go, ladies and gentlemen. Sting now going high risk on Jay White and a big knee to the ribs. Like we said, coming out of this matchup, both teams are not going to be 100%. We can guarantee you that. Is now Malakai Black going to look to send a message to Sting here? Ooh, and a big kick to the back. And uh-oh. Malakai Black, is he thinking about that fade to black? Yes, he does. He connects. If we see it this Saturday, we are going to see a massive win for Malakai Black this weekend. Oh, he got misted. He got misted. And now, oh, he got punted once again. Is that enough this time? But Omega, your NXT champion, is right there to save the day. And this might be the time where you toss in the white towel, ladies and gentlemen, because again, fade to black. Sting eating a lot of damage here at the very end, and it has to be it. No, he just kicked out. Are you kidding me? How in the hell did Sting just kick out of that? There's no frickin' way. As over the back rake there from Malakai Black, trying to take out the NXT champion here, and now Black from behind. Uh-oh. Oh, vicious neck breaker / back breaker, and now Black wants to end this matchup. Both running into situations where it's been so close, but no cigar. Who is going to walk out champion, or I should say walk out winner, to get themselves momentum for this weekend? Snapmare takedown. Here comes Black. Nice drop kick to the side of the skull. Both men putting on a clinic in this matchup. As Jay White, Kenny Omega. Looks like they were going to go face to face for a brief second, but Omega realizing how bad Sting is right now and realizes, hey, I need to get a tag. Because Sting has eaten multiple fade to blacks, missed to the face. Certainly, it's been absolute craziness for both sides in this matchup. But it's all about sending a message. But also, this is a massive main event before that new change in the WWE draft. Like I mentioned, it's going to be big for all three brands. Really get to see what each brand is going to be brought by. Is that Scorpion Death Drop? That might be enough. No, Jay White kicks out. And just like that, Sting cannot believe it. But for these four men, they may not be on this brand once we get to NXT. Is that Scorpion Death Drop? Referee is right there again. And Kenny Omega and Sting pick up the win. And just like that, Jay White picks up the loss in the tag team matchup. But he will remain undefeated in singles action. It's a big win for Kenny Omega and Sting, ladies and gentlemen. A much needed win for this team before, obviously Stand and Deliver. Obviously Omega and Sting got misted. They got hit with that fade to black and everything else. But they were able to dig down deep tonight in your main event and walk out victorious. Sting goes out on top here on this episode of NXT. But will it be the same coming up at Stand and Deliver? Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you then.